Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a hypnosis session where I was working with a gentleman that had elevated levels of anxiety based on almost like a paradox, where he would try and influence something that is largely an unconscious response. So it's very difficult, for example, unless you're like a trained yogi, to influence, let's say, your heart rate or your white blood cell count and those kind of things. In fact, if you try and control certain elements of things that are largely uncontrollable, it can actually lead to a feeling of powerlessness, which paradoxically and ironically creates the opposite. There is a very powerful principle in psychology and in therapy called the law of reversed effect. And quite often there are situations where by trying to control something that is largely uncontrollable, it makes the situation worse and definitely doesn't make it better. So typically, for example, when people are anxious, they might have that inner dialogue and saying, calm down, don't get nervous, don't get anxious. And that makes them more anxious. I also have seen it with men with erectile dysfunction, where even if they have an erection, they might say to themselves, don't go soft, stay hard. They've got that inner dialogue. And by saying that, they're trying to control something which is an unconscious response. And then it creates the opposite effect that they're aiming for. Now, these paradoxes are more common than you would think. And in this man's case, he was trying to consciously control his blood pressure, even though it's largely an unconscious response. So what you're going to hear in this session is an element of parts therapy where I'm negotiating with the part that had the intention of lowering the blood pressure by giving that part responsibilities to improve overall health and well-being, which actually would have a positive impact on blood pressure. Generally, the best ways to lower blood pressure are to have a healthy body weight, do regular exercise, eat well, drink water, get plenty of sleep. Those are the kind of things that actually have an impact on blood pressure. What doesn't have an impact on blood pressure is when you've got racing in a dialogue, trying to tell yourself and will yourself for that to happen. Rarely does that actually work. And then effectively, there was another part of this man's life where he was just incredibly cool under pressure, to the extent that he was in a situation where he was on an aeroplane, one of the engines failed, and his heart rate was very low and he was very calm, and he had minor, operation, super calm. So there was evidence within his own life that he could be super calm under pressure, and also that he had this ability to look after his overall health and well-being. So the essence to this session is sometimes we have all the resources that we need, but we've got the wrong resources or the wrong parts doing the wrong job. And by switching them around, you can actually have very profound and powerful kind of differences. If you're listening to this and you like the idea of making a change where it comes to overthinking or perhaps your reaction to health situations, there will be a link nearby where you can book a free 30-minute consultation call. But for now, just find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just get a sense that tension, stress, or worry is leaving your body in the outward breath. That's it. And with your eyes closed, just notice that you can give more of your attention to the sound of my voice. As you breathe in and breathe out, just get a sense that you're breathing in more of that resourceful relaxation. And as you exhale, tension is slowly but surely leaving your body in that outward breath, enabling you to go deeper and deeper, relaxed. Now, I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a picturesque beach, a private beach, just you, perhaps the white sand, maybe a few palm trees. I want you to get a sense that there is a comfortable bed there on that beach, and there shouldn't be. Why would there be a bed on a beach? But I want you to see the most comfortable bed you've ever seen, and imagine you're lying on that beach. You're on the bed on the beach, hearing the waves, feeling the sun on your skin as you continue to breathe in and breathe out. And just get a sense that your arms, your legs are getting heavier and heavier. As you breathe in, just notice that any tension around your eyelids and eyes are just melting away. You're letting go of that tension. Now, as you breathe in, any tension around your forehead, around your jaw, again, is just being released now, enabling you to go deeper and deeper, relaxed. Feel your arms getting heavier and heavier, limper and looser, your neck and shoulder releasing that tension. As you breathe in, just notice that on your outward breath, you're able to exhale for longer and slower than you normally would, training your body to breathe from your diaphragm, enabling you to get more oxygen, which in turn takes you even deeper, relaxed. Now, that's it. Legs getting heavier, maybe feeling a tingling sensation in your toes or your fingers as you continue to breathe in and breathe out, and get a sense not only that tension, stress and worries are leaving your body, but you're continuing to breathe in that feeling of resourceful relaxation, enabling you to go even deeper relaxed. I will count down from 5 to 1, and I want you to imagine what it would be like to fall asleep there on that bed, on that beach, going into a deep sleep where you enter REM sleep, the ability to dream vividly, so vividly it almost feels like a real experience. Starting to count 5, head getting heavier, 4, breathing even deeper, 3, arms and legs getting all limp, loose, relaxed, 2 and then 1, just imagine what it would be like to fall asleep there on that bed, on that beach. That's right. And imagine that's happened for a while, and you start to dream, and I want you to imagine that you're dreaming that you're on the same beach, but no longer in the bed, and you can see that the physical version of you is fast asleep on the bed, so much so that you can imagine lifting your arm up from the wrist, feeling how limp and loose that wrist is, that arm is, all floppy like a puppet's arms without any strings, and then just let it go and see it flop back down there on the bed. And then nearby, I want you to imagine there is a table with a puzzle. Now, I don't know if this is a picture-based puzzle with 1,000 pieces, or a mechanical puzzle, or something else. But your unconscious mind accepts the suggestion that on that table is a puzzle. If you can see that puzzle on that table and feel that your intention is to solve that puzzle, particularly the logical, analytical part of your mind, just let me know by nodding your head. I want you to allow that logical, analytical part of your mind to focus on solving that problem, that puzzle, knowing that it can't happen quickly. Allow the logical, analytical part to solve that puzzle, or at least attempt to. And then allow a different part, the part that wants change, particularly when it comes to anxiety and certain triggers, to continue walking on the beach. Now you could turn around and you can see that logical, analytical part trying to solve a puzzle at a table. And you can also see your physical conscious part fast asleep on a bed there on the beach. Continue walking on the beach, feeling the sun on your skin, breathing in that sea air, getting a sense that with every step, you're going deeper and deeper, relaxed. And somewhere not too far away, I want you to imagine that you can see a beach hut, a large beach hut there on the beach. I want you to imagine walking up to the door and knowing that inside the beach hut is a part of your subconscious mind that is responsible for anxiety when it comes to a specific part of your life, and you know what that part of your life is. And just know that when you open this door, you will see the part responsible for this anxiety. You're behind the door, about to walk in. I will count down from 5 to 1, and when I reach 1, you will have walked into the beach hut. You will go to one corner of the beach hut, and on the opposite corner you will see this part responsible for a specific cause of anxiety. Starting to count. 5. Putting your hand on the handle of the door of this beach hut. 4. Opening that door. 3. Walking through the door. 2. Closing the door. And then 1. Hearing the click of the door signifying it's now closed. You walk to one corner, and then in the opposite corner, I want you to see the part responsible for the anxiety for a specific part of your life. And if you can see them, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to invite that part into the beach hut if they're not already there. And it might be that it's a physical entity that looks like you. It might be you from another time. It might be just some kind of representation of this part, like an energy or even an animal. And when that part is ready to enter that beach hut, just let me know by nodding your head. That's it. Allow that part to stand in the opposite side of that beach hut. And the first thing I want you to do is to thank them for their positive intention. Let them know that you are grateful for the fact that they've been trying to do something good. And as you deliver that, they might have a reaction to that. And if they're reacting to your words, just let me know by nodding your head. Maybe they're surprised, maybe nervous, maybe they think you're up to something. But if they do accept your compliment, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And then tell them, imagine my words coming through your mouth. Thank you for your positive intention. I know that you've been trying to help in some way. Maybe you're trying to help by protecting me, keeping me safe. Maybe you're trying to help in a different way. But I want to thank you for the fact that you have been trying to help. But I want you to ask them, what is their positive intention? What have they been trying to do? And even though you might feel relaxed, just realize that you can still talk. And let me know when they've told you what their positive intention is, what they've been trying to do that's good for you. And when you're ready, just let me know by saying that out loud. If you can just repeat that for me.
Trying to lower your blood pressure.
Yeah. And they've been trying to help in that way. But sometimes when people try to do something, the opposite happens. And I want you to almost feel like you can stream memories straight from your mind and your experience straight to theirs. Of all those times where, through their positive intention, perhaps the exact opposite has been happening. I want you to share memory after memory after memory that they've had this positive intention, and this has been the actual result of their positive intention. And they might be surprised, or they might feel like they failed in some way. But just connect them with the consequences of that positive intention. And then I want you to ask them if it's okay if I speak to them directly. And if they're okay with that, just let me know by nodding your head. I want you to temporarily switch places so that you are now in the entity that's been trying to help you in this way. And when you feel like you're in that body, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to imagine that my voice is now coming from the other version of you that you can see opposite. And I would also like to say thank you. Thank you for that positive intention. You've been trying to help, and I don't think you realize that by trying to help in the way that you've been trying to help, it's actually been creating the direct opposite response to the response that you've wanted. And I'd like to propose a way that you can actually do the very objective that you've been aiming for. An increase in your responsibility, an increase in your significance. And if you're ready to take on that increase in responsibility that will actually help this role, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to be responsible for protecting in this way, in every context, except when you're being tested. I want you to be vigilant when it comes to diet. If you feel that the diet is becoming less healthy and risking the physical health, I want you to come up with inspirational ideas as to amazing recipes or new foods and fruits and vegetables to try to improve health and well-being. I want you to be vigilant when it comes to exercise, to ensure there's that passion, enthusiasm for using the physical body in a way to get healthier. No matter how old you get, having that drive to move, to lift heavy things, to get the heart pumping. I want you to be responsible for linking thirst to the idea of drinking more water. I want you to be responsible for picking up on when there's stress happening and then suggesting ideas and thoughts as to how to meditate, relax, enjoy nature to reduce those stress levels. I want you to be responsible for the actual ideas and implementation of physical things that will ensure a healthy body, a healthy heart, and very healthy blood pressure levels. Everything but the element of taking a test. And if you're ready for that level of responsibility, to do it better than it's ever been done before, let me know by nodding your head. And if you're willing to relinquish that element of testing to a different part that has proven to be calm under pressure, let me know by nodding your head. And I think you already know what part would be ideal for this job. So I want you to call them into the hut, bring them forth. And when they're now with you in that hut, let me know by nodding your head. And now I want you to imagine that you're asking them to take this responsibility from you, that you will do everything to promote good health except the testing. Because testing has very little to do with good health and everything to do with remaining calm in a strange situation. Perhaps you can imagine passing the baton over, giving them that responsibility. And when they're ready, I want you to ask them if it's okay if I speak to them directly, that part that's shown they can be cool under pressure. And when they're ready, let me know by nodding your head. I want you now to swap places, to find yourself in their body, to take the role of that part. They're now driving the bus in this moment. And I want to thank you for being a steady hand, cool under pressure. And I'm wondering if the way in which you've been calm under pressure in all different times, you would now be willing to take the mantle, take the responsibility of being tested, whether it's tested by yourself or tested by a professional. If you're willing to take that responsibility, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to think of all the adversity that you've faced, all the crisis that you've dealt with. And I want you to imagine placing the idea of being tested for blood pressure and put it on a hierarchy as to how perilous that seems compared to some of the other stuff that you've dealt with. And if it's fairly low on the spectrum and you feel that you have all the resources in the world to be super calm, super relaxed in that kind of situation, just let me know by nodding your head. Your overall mentality is, this is a walk in the park. I've got this. Compared to some of the things I've dealt with, this is tiny. And if it feels like that's true, let me know by nodding your head. And then I want you to imagine, maybe it's a week from now, maybe 2 weeks from now. Imagine that you're being tested in a doctor's office. I want you to imagine that from the moment you know that you're going to be tested, it's you that is driving that bus, you that is there in control, with an overall sense that I can handle this. This is no big deal. Bring it on. Almost the bigger the perceived consequence, the more cool and calm you are in this situation. And imagine that you have the test. Imagine whatever is strapped to you, and I want you to get the overall sense. I can handle this. You couldn't care less what the result shows. Doesn't matter to you. All that matters to you is that you're cool and calm in the situation. The process is infinitely more important than the outcome. You have trust that by remaining relaxed and stress-free and lowering the stakes in your own mind, letting the experts get on with whatever they need to do, and you're almost a passive observer in the whole story, means that sooner or later, the results will reflect the reality of your overall health and well-being, your overall mentality and psychology. And when the anxiety is so low, you're training those neural pathways to treat this as something as insignificant as brushing your teeth or tying your shoelaces. And when you accept that, you've got all the resources in the world to cope with having a test and know that it almost doesn't matter what the test result is because you can handle whatever it shows. Let me know by nodding your head. I want you to imagine there are 3 parts in this room. The part that wanted change, the part that will take on the responsibility of elevating and increasing the standards of your overall health and well-being, and the part that remains cool under pressure and now going to work as a team. Imagine all 3 of you entered this hut as 3 different parts, but you now leave as one, all integrated, working together to ensure as your health increases, your stress and anxiety decrease. And if you're happy to do that, then it's time to leave the hut. And when you've left the hut, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to walk down the beach and then see, bizarrely, a bed and a table there on the beach. I want you to see that there is someone that looks like you attempting to solve a puzzle. And when you get to that puzzle, I want you to realize that the puzzle was easy to fix. They just had the wrong piece in the wrong hole. And by swapping one piece for another piece that looked similar but was fundamentally different, suddenly the whole puzzle is solved. And when the puzzle is solved, let me know by nodding your head. Step into that part, the analytical, logical part that was trying to solve the puzzle. And sometimes the puzzle is attempted to be solved by forcing a piece into the wrong hole, when the better thing to do is to see what is most suitable for that particular place. All parts are now in that logical, analytical part, and now it's time to walk towards the bed and see there is a conscious part fast asleep. Now imagine climbing into that body, so all parts are now fully integrated as one entity. Very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, but first we have to leave this bed and return back to reality. I want you to notice that throughout the whole thing, you were wearing a device strapped to your wrist. In the bed you were wearing it, solving the puzzle you were wearing it, and in the beach hut you were wearing it. And in all cases, it meant nothing. You didn't even notice it was on because it had no significance to you. All of this, the puzzle, the bed, the hut, are all just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, and now you're in the present. Find yourself in your own physical body right now, but taking these changes with you, taking these new roles, playing to their strengths with you, taking a belief system that any form of a test is about as meaningful to you as wearing a ring or a necklace around your neck, or just what item of clothes, like the color of your socks you're wearing on that particular day. Any device is of low emotional consequence from this point forwards. You're in your own physical body right now. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're in your own physical body right now, as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.